Today I'd like to show you how to use a 2-manual organ and navigator to achieve the versatility of a 3 or 4-manual instrument. And to demonstrate that capability, I'm going to use the piece of music Gesù Bambino by Pietro Jan. I start with a registration that uses the flute celeste from the organ on the grate, and the oboe from navigator on the swell. And on the pedal, I've registered a Borden sound, again from navigator. So let's play the first phrase of Gesù Bambino. Right at the end of that phrase, the composition calls for a chime to be played. And if we had a 3-manual instrument, we'd register the chime on the 3rd manual. That would give us 1 manual for the solo voice, 1 for the accompaniment, and 1 for the chime. But on a 2-manual instrument with navigator, we can accomplish the same goal by using something navigator calls key limits and by using key shift. So let me explain to you how we're going to do that. The melody line for this composition only goes up to the D flat. So instead of using the entire keyboard for the oboe, I'm going to limit the oboe to the top note being D flat. And now when I play the rest of the keyboard, it's empty. On that part of the keyboard, I'm going to use the chime stop, and the chime stop in navigator will be limited to this note as the lowest note. There you have it. Let's try it. Well, that's too high. The actual note I want is an octave lower, so let's go into the tubular chime and shift that pitch down. Listen to what happens. Now it's an octave lower. So we've limited the section of the keyboard that plays this voice, and we've shifted the octave down so it's the usable notes. Now let's try that first phrase again. And it's perfect. I've got both voices just where I can use them and just in the section of the keyboard that they need to be. I've done the same thing with a navigator voice in the grate. I'm going to turn it on now. I'm using the choir, and I've shifted that by an octave as well so that the usable part of the choir voice is up here. But it does not extend as far down here into the flute celeste as we're using it for accompaniment. And so now we can play chimes, choir, flute celeste, and oboe on 2 manuals. Let's play the beginning of Pietro Jan's Gesù Bambino now. Quite a neat trick to turn a 2-manual instrument into 3 or 4 manual capabilities.